Good evening, everybody. We're so thankful to have you all here with us tonight. We are into the month of December, and it is so exciting to think that we are closing out the year with you all as a part of the further fun adventures and journey into the Elijah Sisters podcast. And so we are going to continue on as we promised you all in reviewing some holiday and family-friendly movies. And tonight's review of Disenchanted is one that is not going to disappoint. And if you haven't seen it, I assure you, you will want to see it after you hear all that we have to share with you all, our opinions on it. And I think we have great opinions because we're awesome people. After tonight's episode, we're going to jump right into our show tonight. Please forgive me for not being live on camera. I have been awake since 4 a.m. And my sisters know, number one, I am not a morning person. And I wasn't just up because because it's Friday. I was up because I was in another time zone. I actually was out of town, and so I had to catch a very, very early flight. And so after being in Colorado, 2 flights and 3 time zones, I am back in South Carolina, and I made it back home. And once I landed in Myrtle Beach, then the traffic was absolutely horrendous. And so what normally is about maybe an hour and 20 minutes took close to 2.5, almost 3 hours to get home. So it's been a journey to get here, but I wanted to make sure I was here to do this episode with my sister. But that being said, I just didn't have it in me to be camera ready tonight. So you all, please forgive me. But my voice works and my opinion is sharp. So we are here to get right on with the show tonight. And I will be back with you all, fabulous as ever, on next week. We apologize for our technical difficulties last week, and whenever we're off, we absolutely miss you all. We hope that you all missed us, but that gave us a chance to just really be ready for tonight. So I've been gone and out of town. How has you all's week been, Chantilly and Angelique?
A whirlwind. I can't believe it's Friday. Praise the Lord.
So are your kids close to their Christmas break or winter break? I know the schools don't say Christmas break anymore. They did back in the old days when I was in school, but they don't say, not allowed to say that anymore. So I know you'll be, how long do they get?
From December 19th to January 2nd.
It seems to me when I was in elementary school, it was one more week. Seemed like we got out the week before. It seemed like it was like the middle of December. It could be my imagination, but it seemed like we had far more time to be out. But I'm almost positive we had more winter break than that. But I know anytime that you get a break, I'm sure with 4 little ones, well, kind of little, not so little, but with,
I was about to say maybe 3 little ones.
But with 4 to have to teach, I'm sure you're thankful for any days off that you have to not be the teacher.
Yeah.
I was telling a friend of mine recently that, we were all homeschooled, and I always give you the biggest props and accolades because Mom did it with 3. And had the ages between us, and you do it with 4, and I think you do a marvelous job. And I just, I didn't have the gifting.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a lot, man.
I thank God for that schoolhouse every day. And whenever them kids was like, I got a day off, I was like, excuse me?
Right. We'll call them up like, what was y'all gonna do with these kids though?
I pay my taxes.
I don't care. I'm not gonna teach them what you gonna do with them.
I think my biggest issues, especially as they got older, was who's supposed to feed these people?
Man.
It's like they have tapeworms when they at home.
Yeah.
And when they would have days when they could kind of choose, especially like toward like their senior years, I would be saying, no, I'm not choosing to feed you 3 meals. You need to be at the school. We have a partnership. I just do dinner. But I know that I'm sure they're looking forward to having the break too. And I know when I was, when I was first in elementary, living in Muskegon, that was wintertime and snow days were fun. And when you're little, the snow is an exciting thing. When you get older, maybe not so much. Right. But I know that they'll enjoy that time, and your family will too. How's your week been, Angelique?
It's been good. I didn't realize I had so much going on my computer because that's why we weren't on last week. Because we had a lot of technical issues and my computer was completely down and I had to reset it. It took me about 3 days to get it back to how I had it.
Wow.
Putting everything back on and what I use through the week between work, our show, our service, everything. I was like, oh wow, yeah, I don't want to do that again.
That's how it is with me when I get a new phone. The when I have to put all my apps back on and then it's logging back into everything, it almost makes me cry.
Thankfully, I have so much synced and automatic, so I didn't have to remember so much logins, but just getting the stuff back downloaded and put back on and set back up. I was like, I don't want to do this again.
Sure you don't. I don't want that for you.
Because I missed like a day and a half of work because I just couldn't get it. Like I couldn't even get into my computer. Like the screen on Windows computers, the screen where you put in your like password or your PIN.
Yeah.
It would get to that screen and it would be like, basically it would like a message would pop up saying it was an error and I couldn't log in. So it was like I couldn't even get past that. It was just black with that box on the front for like a day and a half. And I just was like, I'm going to cry. Thankfully, I have very good managers and stuff. So they all were like, oh, I feel so bad for you. I hope you get it on. They were like, because they know. I was just like, I'm trying not to have a breakdown right now with everything in me. So they were like, just let us know. So thankfully, that was that. But, oh, no, Sister Soldier. No. I do not owe that. I've never had that much of an issue where it stressed me out with a computer that bad. To like,
wow.
I was just like, I can't do this. I can't. Because like I didn't want to tell you, I was just like, I can't get on, y'all. Like it's been downloaded for like the past 45 minutes. I can't.
It happens. Well, perfectly, you won't have to experience that again. You have everything locked and loaded. So
it has actually been faster since I did that, so that's a plus.
Well, that's always a plus. One of the worst things in life is a slow running computer.
A slow computer. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
If
God.
I wanted to relive that, I'd just get download again.
You hit download on a video. Yes, you hit download on a video that's like 15 minute long video, and it's like, oh, your video will be downloaded in 2 hours. Why? The video is 15 minutes. What are you doing?
I don't miss the dial-up days at all. I didn't think that we ever had that.
I was watching something the other day, and they were like talking about it, and I just was like, I remember that. Like I remember getting on my
I remember logging in and just like, let me go make something to eat because it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, it's not gonna be quick. Really?
The worst would be like logging on to AOL and it would that wretched screeching dialing noise, and then right when it would be dialing in, you would hear click.
No.
The
No.
like, either that or when you finally would get in, and then it would drop you back out. That would just be the worst.
Yeah.
And yet we did it every single day.
Yeah, that's why it's like in my mind, I'm like, I have to remember, like, even when I'm complaining about slow internet, we're in a better place than when the internet was first popping
It was
off.
much slower.
Yeah, so it's like, slow now is not what slow was then. Like, I remember when people would have, like, on, like, MySpace, when everybody decided to do everything on their page, and it would take so long for a page to load. It's like, did you need music and backgrounds and all this? Can you just have a regular page?
Some people's pages I wouldn't even go to because I don't have all day.
No, like we had a cousin. I went to his page once, and I was like, nope. Well, we doing that twice because you did way too much, sir.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we all had, we'll say, an eventful week.
Let's call it eventful.
We made it.
Let's call it eventful.
That's cute.
Yeah.
We're here. We're here, and we are ready to dive into this show. And I'm excited, and I really am glad to be back on the East Coast. It was great to be in Colorado. I hadn't been in Colorado when I landed in Denver. I actually was in Greeley, which is an hour north of Denver, but Greeley doesn't have an airport, so I had to land in Denver, which has a gigantic airport. But I realized when I got there that I hadn't been in Colorado in 30 years ago that Daddy ministered there. Exactly.
Wow.
And
that was so scary.
Oh,
really?
Going on the mountain?
Oh, the mountain, yeah. And we were there during a huge blizzard too. But it came back to me like it was yesterday once I was there. Just the feeling of it, just the memories of it. Thankfully it wasn't as cold, but it was cold enough for me. When I got there, it was in the 30s when I got there, and coming from South Carolina, I was very, very cold, but I had a wonderful time. And I think that's my biggest struggle was the 2-hour time difference. I was missing meetings, and it was trouble. It was so real. But it's absolutely beautiful. And we grew up traveling, so anytime I get to travel and just be somewhere else, it's a wonderful feeling. I don't like to sit still too long. It makes me antsy. It's just, I feel like I need to be somewhere. I don't care if it's the next city. I need to do something. So it was great to be that far west. I hadn't been that far west, like I said, in 30 years, and so it was great. But I was so happy to be back here in a warmer climate, although it is raining, and be back home and in a time zone that makes sense to me. So, so we are here. We are here. I don't have a lot of news before we get into the show tonight, but I other than to say, Brittany Griner is home, right?
I told y'all, it was on my video. I told y'all she was gonna be free. I told y'all it was in her chart.
I was so happy when I saw that. No, she's not doing the neck roll.
I'm gonna repost my video when I said she was gonna be free because it was in her astrology chart.
You definitely post it again.
Yeah,
definitely. And this is the one specific because I know you did a couple on her. I could definitely make sure it's posted to our socials because I was so
happy. I almost wanted to send her a card.
I know, right?
I was so worried about her.
I feel like she was my people. I almost was like,
I was like, our girl's coming home, y'all.
Coming home.
I was relieved. I was so scared. They said she was going to a detention center or something. They said she had just went to
that
like
camp.
some, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
I know people mad and talking about it's not fair, and it's another man that's there from America that's in there for about the same thing, and he's a teacher, I think, or something like that, and hopefully he gets to come out too. But that don't mean I'm not happy that Britney's out.
No, I think people need to understand is like us being excited for Britney doesn't mean us saying the guy shouldn't be out too.
Not at all.
Right.
Like, no, that's just the biggest story. And it's just like,
actually, if it wasn't for Britney, I wouldn't have known about his story.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's going to be more people that's going to be looking into that now because it's like, oh, wait, because he might not have known because he wasn't as well known as her. So.
I think her wife said something about him.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy that she's home. And the one thing I thought about, and I thought about it thinking about Chantilly and what she specializes in, and just where her heart, all of our hearts with Chantilly's is, she's got a long road of healing her mental health and recovery ahead of her, and so my prayers definitely go out to her, and not just her, because one thing I've learned going through therapy myself is anytime trauma happens to you, it happens to the people closest to you. Yeah. So her family will now be on the road to healing and recovery, and that's not going to be over in a week or two.
No, it's going to take a minute.
That could be some years, and people really have to grasp that. I've been going through therapy for 3 years now, and I feel like my therapist and I have just scratched the surface on me in my life. I will be seeing her for quite a while.
Yeah. You're not going to heal from, decades of trauma, in a month or a couple months. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah. Well, you're never actually really done with therapy. You go through different phases.
You might need less, you might need more, you might need different.
And it depends on the type of therapist you have. Because I'm open enough to say I personally see a cognitive therapist. It was for me mentally, because I actually was just diagnosed with complex PTSD and some other things that is none of your business. But
it's not.
It is not.
I'm a firm believer in boundaries.
All over Beyonce's internet, and I
I'm
don't want
a firm believer in boundaries. You say what you want to say and what you don't want to say, and move on. Nobody's owed nothing else.
But I only speak about the complex PTSD because I didn't even know there was a difference between PTSD and the complex PTSD.
Yeah.
But when it was explained to me with the depth of what I've been through, it made sense to me, the things that would trigger me, my responses, just different things. And so like I said, you're never really done with therapy. You find better ways to cope. You get stronger. You may not always see a therapist or need it, but you'll always be healing and working through it. And there's nothing wrong with that, But anyway, that's clearly a topic for another show. Write that down.
Yeah, and it was in her chart. That's already something that she needed to deal with, was the mental health and anger, and you can see that from her exploding on the court, and on people, and she had domestic violence situations too, okay. And and that's what made me so frustrated. Was like, she's trying to deal with her mental health issues. That's why she had that cartridge. And that's how she deals with it. It was so frustrating. Everybody was like, she should have known better. She should have known better. You don't know. She has to pay child support for kids that I don't think she even sees. That, I think that her first marriage to the other WNBA player, I think that was like, I know they both played in WNBA, but it seemed like some gold digger stuff. Like, she got pregnant and then left her and made her pay for child support and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So she has to pay child support for kids she's not even involved in their lives. And all the issues she has with her father doesn't acknowledge her sexuality. Her father won't talk about it. You know, and all the bullying that she went through in school, she already has a lot of, and even if you look at, like I said in my videos, if you look at any video about Brittany Griner, you look in the comments, you'd be wondering, like, why is everybody so mad? Like, why? Like, but why y'all so mad? They just, before she even went to prison, everybody was so tall, her voice so low, she a man, you know, just mad.
I'm
but
so
mad
tired with that. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care how she sounds.
And then when she went to prison, that's what she get. That's what she get for what?
Really? Because what did she do?
That's what she get for what? What did she do to y'all? It's a lot. She has to deal with a lot. And I almost hope she does not look at the comment section of any of the videos that talk about, that's been giving updates on her, because there's people that really don't like her for no reason. But it's explained in the chart. So yeah, I'm praying for her healing too.
Yeah, I'm happy. She's gonna need it. She's gonna need it. I'm just happy part of that step process that has happened.
Yeah, I'm number one, just glad that she's home. All right, so let's get into some holiday fun facts before we get into our review. So we did some Christmas ones a couple weeks ago, and then I found some more because the ones we did were so intriguing to me. I wanted to dig deeper into some more.
I was watching that when I was editing and stuff, and I was just like, that was a fun one. That was fun.
All right. I'm not going to do a whole bunch tonight, but I just think information just makes you feel awesome, I believe. Mm-hmm. It does for me. Anyway. Yes. All right. So a lot of us grew up with the tradition of leaving cookies and milk for Santa Claus. If you had a household where you believed in Santa Claus, we did not. But if that was your thing,
we were specifically told that there wasn't no Santa Claus. Mommy and Daddy bought your gifts.
If you did that, and there's nothing wrong with that, then we can thank the Dutch for that. They gave us the idea to leave cookies and milk for old Saint Nick. I did not know that. So that came from the Dutch. I honestly never knew where that came from. It's called St. Nicholas Feast Day, actually on December 6th. The Dutch children leave him food and drink in exchange for the gifts he leaves overnight. Did you know that the image that we currently see of Santa Claus today, as Coca-Cola played a large part in the current image that we have?
Yeah.
I love that image, actually.
Before,
I appreciate them for that.
Thank you. Before Coca-Cola decided to use his image for advertising, Santa's looks tended more towards spooky than jolly. Then in 1931, the beverage company hired an illustrator named Haddon Sundblom to depict the jolly old elf for magazine ads. Now kids see visions of sugar plums instead of having Santa-themed nightmares.
Okay. I'm kind of ready for the Coca-Cola and the polar bear commercials to kind of roll. Show me a couple. Show me a couple.
The tradition of hanging stockings by the fireplace actually started on accident. Legend has it that we hang stockings by the chimney with care thanks to a poor man who didn't have enough money for his 3 daughters' dowries. Oh. Generous old Saint Nick dropped a bag of gold down their chimney one night after the girls had hung their freshly washed stockings there to dry. That's where the gold ended up, and the tradition stuck.
Wait a minute. I don't understand this legend.
Charles said, let's go by this legend one more time.
Okay. Why would the father have to have the money for his daughter's dowry? I thought the husband was supposed to have that. Maybe it means something different in different countries.
I'm just reading the information. dig deeper at another time, ma'am.
It could be, because I'm trying to remember about the dowry. I thought it was the dad. It has the daughter's dowry. I don't know, girl. I don't know.
We're
Well,
not
he's
going
paying
into
people to
that.
marry his daughter now? Okay.
Y'all do
I look at her later and get back to it.
Over the years, the 8 tiny reindeer have had lots of names. I think I shared a couple names before, but I found more names. Rudolph was almost named Rollo or Reginald. I can't even imagine that.
Rollo was kind of hood a little bit.
Really?
Kind of 1960s hood, 1970s
kind
hood.
of pimpish a little bit.
Really?
Oh,
Rollo?
Which doesn't quite have the same ring to it as Rudolph, but his crew also had lots of other names. They've also been called Flossie, Glossy, Racer, Pacer, Scratcher, Feckless, Ready, Steady, and Fireball.
Feckless means something. Feckless is not even good. That's not even a good word.
That don't feel like Christmas. I ain't want to repeat that word. Dang. These people ain't right.
Lord, I'm glad they rethought that. All right.
I don't like that.
Did you know? Me neither. I'm glad we got the ones that we got. Did you know the Christmas wreaths are actually a religious symbol?
Okay.
No.
The Christmas wreath was first originated as a symbol of Christ. The holly represents the crown of thorns Jesus wore at his crucifixion, and the red berries stand for the blood he shed. So when you see a wreath this holiday, you'll remember the reason for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't think of that. What? I don't.
When you think about it, it makes sense, right?
It does. It does. When you said it, I was like, okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. I just never thought of it like. I just thought of the Christmas decoration and didn't think deeper into that.
I think I mentioned this in the last one, but here's some more information on it. The most recorded song ever is Silent Night.
I think you
Silent
said
Night earns
okay,
that title as the most recorded Christmas song in history. It's had more than 733 different versions copyrighted since 1978. I can't even fathom how many ways you can sing Silent Night.
Now I do know I prefer like more R&B versions of Christmas songs a lot of times. So I guess that could be.
I'm sure that that's including all the different instrumental versions. There's a lot of different instrumental versions, and
as they say in the industry, iterations.
Because when it comes to instrumental, I'm all for that Mannheim Steamroller. I mean,
yeah, it's some stuff
that's the end all be all.
I remember that when we was little. I gotta replay that.
That's the one Daddy sings. That's the track he sings to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Christmas song that I really Those two are very good. My time had to go. Okay.
Did you know celebrating Christmas actually used to be illegal?
Come again, say what?
From 1659 to 1681, anyone caught making merry in the colonies would face a fine for celebrating. By the Revolutionary War, the day had so little significance that Congress even held their first session on December 25th, 1789. Christmas wasn't even proclaimed a federal holiday for almost another century, proving that the Grinch's attitude toward the holiday was alive and well long before even he was. I did not know that.
Because they was making merry?
Making merriment.
They was always making merry. That's what I'm saying. Once you say that phrase, the rest of anything else sounds so ridiculous. Jolly. Oh, they was out there making merry. Lock them up. What?
Being happy. How dare you be happy?
This is the phrase
was that? That was in America?
Ours. It's got to be U.S. If they said the first, yeah, that happened.
I thought they came over here so we could have freedom.
That was a new U.S. and they was like, no Mary, don't you make no Mary.
Well, here's some good news behind that, because that kind of dampened my spirits. But the settlers created the first American eggnog. So when we got over here in this country, we made us some eggnog. The Jamestown settlers created the first American.
Go ahead with the eggnog.
The Jamestown settlers created the first American batch of eggnog, although it likely bore little resemblance to today's comforting tipple. The word nog comes from the word grog, any drink made with rum. And early nog didn't have the rich milky base we now ladle out of grandma's punch bowl, but it still was the first eggnog.
Right. They
was making real Mary.
And because I saw somebody like make an old fashioned eggnog, like they went as far back as they could get a recipe. It was not the same thing. Like, it was not the same thing. It was like, that's not what I'm thinking of eggnog. And
we'll still thank them for starting it off.
They started something off. Because even the rum they used would have been way stronger than what we even have now. They just
of course.
Making me.
Well, that lot of stuff back then was far more whiskey and moonshine. And so as we get into the Christmas season, keep in mind to be safe, because Christmas decorations send nearly 15,000 people to the ER every single year. Just the decorations.
Is it what? Hanging them, fires, tripping, what?
If you've ever watched Clark Griswold decorate his house on Christmas vacation, that stat likely doesn't shock you. In fact, the Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates that 14,700 people visit hospital emergency rooms each November and December from holiday-related decorating accidents, which includes things like that break, lights that can short circuit, things like that. So please be careful when you're putting up the holly and the ivy, and people fall off roofs all the time. I just be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, Christmas is one of the times of year that ERs are packed around this time of year.
Yeah.
Honestly, foolishness. A lot of times.
And don't be sipping your eggnog while you're hanging up your decorations.
They gonna do it anyway. They gonna do it anyway.
Did you know that Santa has his own Canadian postal code?
No.
Every year letters sent to Santa Claus flood post offices across the world, cementing their reputation as some of the nicest people ever. Some big-hearted Canadian post office workers started writing back. As the program took off, they set up a special postal code for Santa as part of a Santa letter writing program initiative. Canadians are so awesome.
It's kind of sweet. I can see why that would be sweet.
And the name of the initiative is Ho Ho Ho.
Okay, y'all. Don't you do it. Don't get too cute.
Oh.
That was good though. That's cute. I mean,
that was cute.
Kids are gonna write letters somewhere. So, let them go somewhere. You don't want them to come back. That's cute. I like that.
I want you to guess how many packages are delivered between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day.
Oh, I know a lot because our street be full of FedEx.
All over the world.
Yes. How many packages do you think the U.S. Postal Service delivers between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day?
Oh, you said U.S. Postal Service. That's different.
Mm-hmm. Oh, U.S. Postal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving.
I would say that's about a month. So I'm going to say 1,003,000. It's like, no.
So you go down to the. I would say around that. It's got to be a lot because this would be everybody's getting stuff delivered for Christmas and stuff. So I would think it has to be high.
The most recent number was 910 million packages. That's in addition to almost 15 billion pieces of mail.
Whoa.
That includes gifts to loved ones, cards and Christmas letters, and your most of holiday credit card bills.
They can keep those.
But it's important
they don't have to deliver those.
They don't have to. No. So it's important to thank your mail carriers, particularly this time of year, because they are working harder than they do all year long.
And by thanking them, we mean leave a card in the mailbox stuff. Do not walk up on your mail carriers. They do not want you to do that.
And that's just U.S. Postal. UPS
that's what
doubles their hours. FedEx doubles their hours. I know UPS and FedEx, they work up until I think it's 6 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I think, on Christmas Eve when it's
they work late.
Saturday. They work later than usual
because they got to get those last minute deliveries. Yeah,
so be kind to those delivering, and if you happen to get it the day after Christmas, the world didn't end.
No, but you still got it. As I say, chillax. You still got it.
Chillax. So those are some of the fun facts I wanted to share with you before we get into today's movie. I thought those were things that made my heart warm the cockles of my heart.
Not your cockles.
My cockles.
All right. I'm glad your cockles are warm.
They're toasty.
Don't say it again. Feel free to not say it again.
Oh, you don't want to say cockles? You have a problem with cockles?
Are you troubled that I have cockles or that they're warm?
You feel completely free to not ever say it again.
Don't say what, cockles? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I don't want to say cockles again if that's not the word you're talking about.
Or don't say warm cockles.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I want to make sure we all, what you don't want us to say. If you don't want to say cockles or warm cockles, then you just got to let it go. Oh, that was
fun. Right. That's what it's like to be the Elijah sisters. That's how we are.
Yeah.
And that really could have went on for another 30 minutes. So we're going to
It really could have.
Yeah, it really could have.
It really could have, because that tickled
and
me.
it may continue after we're done with this. So
cockles could pop up again later.
The movie that we're reviewing tonight was Disenchanted, which is now airing on Disney Plus, and it is it picks up where the movie Enchanted left off. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It's number one, anything Maya Rudolph is in, I'm living for it. And so she's just awesome, absolutely fabulous,
funny, talented. Just love her.
It was great. This movie definitely was different than Enchanted, though, in a lot of ways, and I enjoyed it. I liked Enchanted, but this felt more grown up. It definitely didn't feel like
it
did. Revisiting a childhood fairy tale. And so I really I enjoyed it. But I'm gonna tell you, one of the things I loved about it was that wardrobe.
Yes.
Because I told Mom, I said, let us have a fancy event or something I need to go to. The one dress that Giselle, I can't remember, Amy Adams wore.
The blue dress with the peacock feathers?
Yes. I said I would rock that.
Girl.
I would be like,
if I wore that to any church
with
function,
the corset,
have to pray for me.
I know I had to be zipped and tucked in, but girl, that's how I be the whole night. Boom. Every time somebody come, like, they be like,
and you're gonna have to walk in like she walked in too. You're gonna have to walk in with your hands up and sailing into the room. You're gonna have to be seen and be known.
Like, really, every time somebody call me like, Angie.
Yes.
Shoot, that dress was bad. Only thing I would change is I want the sleeves from Maya Rudolph on that dress.
Yes. Everything Maya wore was awesome.
Yes. We jumping ahead, but just got to talk about the costume.
Tears with a tease.
The costume was amazing. Everybody's costuming was amazing. Especially when they got to the fairy tale part, not necessarily real life stuff. That's super close. But the costuming for the other stuff was just insane. Like, whoever was the costumer, and I meant to look that up, they did an amazing job. On that look. Because it was giving.
Starting from the beginning of the movie, I will admit it was a little bit of a slow start, and I have really big issues with movies or TV shows that are slow starts, and I tend to usually shut it off. I just don't have the energy for it. But I really wanted to see this, and I'm glad I stuck with it because it definitely pays off once you get into the premise of the actual movie for sure.
Past the daughter being
her little tantrum thing wasn't working for me.
Like, girl, sit down. Like, I don't like that was what, like, that part. I would say that was the only part that irritated me in the movie. Like, that storyline, I just like and that was only in the very, very beginning. I was just like, I don't care about her being mad. I don't.
And it's been done to death. Like,
I don't.
Well, I like that they didn't go all out like she did.
Yeah. No, they kind of just wrapped it up.
You could just tell that she had some issues because, like, now it's just like the more disrespectful you can get, the better. And they could have went a lot worse with her. And I was glad that they just kept it.
She just was kind of just like, it was kind of just like, I don't want to move. And they didn't go further than that. Because I just was like, if they go deeper than what they did, I was like, please don't do the angry teen kid. Don't do that. No. But I was glad they kept it where it was and just minimize that. Because that would have dragged the movie down if they had just leaned in that too heavy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And so I and my girl Yvette was in the movie too, and I love anything she's in.
Yes, Yvette. Love her. I love her.
She was Yvette from Community on that though, but I still like it.
I did. I liked her. I liked her character.
All of her scenes were perfectly her to me.
Now, I watched the movie without my glasses on. Was the other girl that was with Yvette, is that the lady from Glee and Ugly Betty? The one with the little voice? From Smurf?
I don't think that was her.
I should have
that wasn't her.
Because I wanted to find out who she was. So
you know what you should have did? Put your glasses on.
I don't
know who they are.
Not the voice!
I'm gonna find out who she is now. Hold on.
Yeah. No, I don't think that was her. And I don't remember Glee enough to know, but I don't think that was her.
She was in Glee. That was the teacher's wife, the male teacher's wife.
I don't know. That wasn't her. I don't think that was her. That wasn't her.
Okay.
No, it wasn't her.
That wasn't
I know my Glee. I'm telling you, that wasn't her.
When you said the teacher's wife, I was like, oh no, that wasn't her. That was another lady.
I can see why you thought it was her, but it wasn't her. But she did a good job, though.
I don't know if I've ever seen her. I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything.
She didn't seem familiar to me.
But she was very good. I loved how she played her character. Like when she tried to get a little backbone, and she was like, "Yeah, but if I mess up, you the one gonna be in trouble." I liked her character. She just was like they lead like she was obviously the dumb character, but they didn't, they at least gave her more than just she's dumb. So,
right.
Like, yeah, I did like that, what they did with her.
And of course, it brought back Adina. Adina shined, and she didn't have to do a lot. And I thought her singing in the movie was incredible.
And I watched it twice, and mentally I'm like, she's in more of the movie than she is. And I've watched it twice, and I'm like, she's really not. But mentally, I'm just like, she's in so much of this movie because of that one song.
Hold up, I think I might be wrong.
Are we?
I'm gonna find out. I see Glee popping up when I touched on her name. And Smurf, like I said.
Oh no! Are my tacos wrong?
You don't leave me alone. Let me see Ugly Betty, then I'm gonna know something. Hold on.
Okay, well, you might be right, Chantilly.
She aged horribly then, because she don't look the same. I mean, it is what it is.
I do see Ugly Betty. That's old girl.
Oh, okay. I was wrong then. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I think she did. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, because her hair and the stuff she's in is usually red.
Because I know Shawnee loves Ugly Betty. So I know, I'm like, if she could know more than I know.
Yeah, that's old girl. That was her. Oh. And you right. She did age horribly.
Okay, well, my bad, sis.
Well, maybe she didn't, because I don't know how old she is, so I don't know if it was bad or not. But, Yep. Okay. What was we talking about?
You were trying to look for that woman, sorry. Idina Menzel. She has a special on Disney Plus I'm planning to watch.
So I just overall, she said it was.
Okay.
Overall, what did you all think about the movie, though?
I would say from when Amy Adams made the wish on, I love the movie.
Right.
That's like, I definitely I put it this way, I understand why they had to do the building before to get to that point. Like, you could have just jumped in at that point. But like, my favorite parts of the movie are from the wish on.
Definitely.
But I like the whole movie, even though some people might not, I don't give a rippity poop. But like, I would watch it again more than I had to for the review. I just, I might skip, not pay attention so much to the beginning because I get the lead up and the build up and I know all the backstory now. But that's definitely a movie I would watch again just because I liked it. And some movies I like, but it's not rewatchable for me. This was rewatchable. I would watch it again. If I had to give it a rating, I would say, I don't know. I have to wait, but I got it. I don't know. I don't know yet.
What are you doing?
I was almost there. I was like, no. I wait on the rating. But I got an idea on the rating. But it's not the best movie I've ever seen in the history of movies.
Right.
But it's definitely not like a 1 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, when I see a movie is PG, I already know I'm not gonna really love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I might not. I probably won't hate it. Definitely, it's a movie. Like, if I went to somebody's house and they was like, I haven't seen Disenchanted, you want to watch it? I'd be like, yeah, cool. I see it already, but I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I like the parts after when Maya Rudolph becomes the evil queen. Like, that's it.
That's literally after the wish.
I really like Maya Rudolph. But I feel like she wasn't all the way Maya in this movie. Like, I was expecting more Maya in a movie.
She was light Maya. She was Maya light.
Yeah.
She was Maya light. And I was expecting a lot of Maya for some reason. Because I watch a lot of the stuff that she's in. And I just wanted more of her. But I think she gave the right amount for this. I think she was thinking professionally and gave the right level of her in this movie. I'm just used to more Maya.
Right.
I will say the only reason that I didn't think it was more or less Maya, I had just watched a podcast she did with a comedian I like. I can't remember his name right now, but she did a podcast with him. And first of all, I love the setup of his podcast. His podcast, he has a couch. Everybody comes sits on his big couch and they just talk. I love his setup. Like, it's not overproduced, nothing. So they just basically just had a conversation. And so I saw getting to see her, not necessarily, like, she was on to an extent, obviously, because she's on camera, but she wasn't like on a show, on a movie, anything like that. So, like, seeing her more regular, I kind of like can gauge what's Maya for, like, the movie she's in, the show she's in, and what's Maya just being Maya. So, like, this wasn't to me, it seemed like not the Maya that they pushed her almost to be, because she was on SNL and how she was on there, that she had to be so over the top because it's SNL. This seemed like more like a Maya that's just a comedic actress.
Yeah, I agree.
It just seemed like she was just like, that's more her, like, what I want to do and can do consistently, and not have to be the SNL level of just loud and over the top all the time.
Or
that's just
creating a character.
Yeah.
She was just doing her job. I agree. And she's been doing that with a lot of her work recently, because, like, the show she did for Apple TV, Loop, she did an amazing job with that. And to me, she was just being Maya, and she's hilarious in it. Just her natural funny self.
Because that's even what I've noticed with even some of my favorite SNL actors that have went on to do other stuff, like Ted Lasso show and Barry. Like, when they don't have to be that over the top character of SNL, what SNL asks you for, they're just funny, just being funny them. So, like, I could, I think it doesn't want to be that anymore. That she doesn't have to be. I have to say, she don't have to be, because we know Maya Rudolph. We don't need. Yeah. She don't have to make her name anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So she could just be that evil queen character and just live in that world which she lives. She lives.
I should have went into it without expectations, but I was expecting Maya. But I understand that.
Yeah.
Sometimes she just might want to be a really good actress. I've just been following her for so long. I'm like, we can do better than this.
Oh yeah, like if she did it in another, like if they did another movie.
She did a good job. I like her uniqueness as an actress.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see your point of view.
Yeah. I really liked it. I feel like Chantilly, when it's PG, you know, you kind of already know going into it what you're gonna see or what you're going to be getting from it, but and plus I already kind of knew the premise overall anyway. For me personally, and this just me, is my honest opinion, some of the songs for me were way too much, and I'm a musical person, but some of the songs I was like, oh my, these are too syrupy sweet for me. This is too, like, I was like, my God, I fast forwarded to some of the songs.
And they didn't. And on top of that, they didn't pace them. Like, if you're gonna put those level of the over the top Disney fairy tale songs, they can't be back to back. You have to break it up somewhere.
They should have been more important. They should have been way more important. And I know Disney songs. And Idina Menzel should have had a way better song than what she had.
Well, first of all, I love Love Powers. I ain't gonna lie. And she should have more songs.
I thought she should have had more songs. I think what she had was good, but she should have had more. But that also may have been a money thing. That may have been all they could have paid for.
And well,
sometimes that's what it is.
Yeah, and technically Amy Adams is the lead. So they would have gave her the most songs.
They owed us more for her not singing anything at all in Enchanted.
Yeah, and I think if they had even the songs wouldn't have bothered me much if they had to pace them out. Like it's almost like they just kept being like, here's another Amy Adams song, here's another Giselle song, here's another Giselle song, here's another Giselle song.
It's like, okay, but
fairy
tale,
yeah. But y'all didn't even do that. Y'all didn't even do that in the first movie. So what are y'all doing now? Like, what are you doing?
I think part of that was some of the joke, because even that was like, remember Morgan said, do y'all ever do anything in Angelique when you all don't sing? So I think that was part of some of the thing. That was a point that was trying to be made, but for me personally, I was just
they didn't really make it.
No,
this is a lot. This is really a lot for me.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a musical person. Like, I listen.
Love me a good musical. I will. What?
But it was just
because Mom pulled up Rick today, and I was like, I might need to rewatch these some Rick.
Well, Rick, it just wasn't. So, but that being said, that personally for me wasn't terribly enjoyable overall. But some of my favorite parts definitely was watching the interactions with Maya Rudolph and the two ladies that were serving her with Yvette and the other lady, and just their comedic timing with her was so perfect, and nobody upstaged the other one. They all were perfect. And I think with that group of women, because they're all seasoned. I mean, I knew enough to know the other lady. I didn't realize that was the person who it is.
Yeah, but
I knew enough to know.
They got it.
But I knew enough to know that she was somebody. And my point I'm still making is, you have seasoned actresses like that. It's easy to have one-upmanship, or it's easy to one person to just be too much, or for someone else to fade into the background. And they just were just perfect. They were perfect. That was just perfectly matched for the three of them. And then what I wasn't expecting was the comedy that came from the chipmunk becoming the cat. Like, that was so hysterical. When he gets to that one scene, when he really embraces being the cat, and he's like, I feel totally superior above all animals.
Yes.
He's like,
yes. Because it's like, I do not like the chipmunk voice. Like, it's too much chipmunk voice in the beginning. Like, even in the first one, it hit the way it's like, that's enough. You're not Alvin the Chipmunk, so give it up. And then when he comes back, he like comes to the real world, and he still kind of does the, and I'm just like, that's enough of that too. So like when he becomes a cat, I'm like, okay, I like him a little better as a cat.
Hilarious as a cat, and I thought that was a good twist, because I wasn't expecting that, and that even helped Amy Adams' character with becoming a wicked stepmother, because
I loved her as
when she was stroking him, and I was like, ooh, that is too evil.
When she tried to show him what she looked like, when he was like, you can't be no evil stepmother.
She said,
he said, oh yeah, that, oh yeah.
When she does something. I said, no, she didn't do that. I said, yeah, right.
Yeah. But I like when she was going back and forth, and how she changed her voice and demeanor.
Yeah.
I love that. I know that took a lot of work.
Yeah, because she had to literally play two characters, because she could have just acted different, like her personality wise, but she like changed everything about herself.
And she's playing two characters in the same scene. It's not like they're cutting and doing it another take. She's doing it straight in the same scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's
and you could really see it when she's talking to her daughter. I didn't want to
when they're going back and forth.
Like that.
And they're going
to the camera. Seen her like that.
And the camera keeps like going to see the other side. Yeah. And I just was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she got to see it. She got to show another side of herself, because usually she's not that same character in all the other movies that she's been in. So I like that she got to, play with her voice, play with her demeanor, be the villain. I really like that. I like when the girl, when she said she wanted to turn, what's her name? Maya said she was going to turn the lady into a frog, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm a frog!" And then Nicole had to tap her like, Yvette had to tap her like, "Chill out, you good."
You're not a frog.
Come back to Earth. You was about to go. You was about to wig out.
Yeah. And so, like, I didn't know I was gonna like Maya and the sidekicks as much as I did. I love them.
Okay, the sidekicks was not just any old people,
Right.
They got some,
but sometimes with well-known people, they don't put a lot of effort into them, and it was just like the fact they put work, like they were in scenes that Maya wasn't in, like they were characters.
Yeah,
like that.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
One of my favorite scenes, because again, honestly, a lot of the songs didn't do a lot for me, but
I don't even remember a lot.
Now, the duet with Amy and Maya, that was off the chart.
It's called Batter. I listened to it earlier before we got online.
That was off the chart.
I like that.
That was off the charts. I was just like, okay, now that's what I've been waiting for. Y'all took way too long for this.
Amy got her little fashion together.
I loved Batter.
She was fortunate by the way she was walking when waiting.
Okay.
Because I showed mom the video of Batter, like the clip, and she was like, she said something about, because you saw when she was moving and top of it, I was like, that is a corset.
Right.
Yes.
Maya couldn't have said that when she wasn't wearing no corset. The way she was going like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that thing was like moving.
That
she
thing
was
was
moving.
Shifted, honey.
I said that is a corset.
She is
corset.
Okay.
She is corseted.
That is the kind that you are usually tied up into or snapped up for real.
She was wrapped up in that. But
that's the kind you for sure need help.
That is a scene I said, and I honestly, and I told him, I said I would wear either one of their dresses and be happy.
Look, that's what I love most about Amy Adams. When she switched over, I was like, them fashions, girl.
When she looked in that mirror and she said, my hair is so big and my chest is so, ooh.
Do you know how the stepmothers like it?
Yes, because I would want to hear an interview and hear her, somebody ask that question, but you cannot make me believe that she did not look at the stepmother from Cinderella, the animated Cinderella.
Yeah, a lot of people was like Cinderella.
But I'm saying the way she was acting, I was like, I firmly believe she studied the stepmother of Cinderella, because how she was acting was too close to that stepmother.
She was just like that, but she is the evil stepmother, the Cinderella character.
It's
God, yes.
It's like it had like you had to have studied her in the first Maleficent from Snow White.
That's what I was thinking too.
That I'm not yelling, I'm not acting crazy. I'm just right here with it, but I'm real especially with the cat, because she had a cat. I think her cat was called Lucifer in Cinderella.
In Cinderella, yeah, it was Lucifer.
So like that, I was like, I think she studied those two, because the way she was acting, I was like, that reminds me of them. It reminds me of those two.
Y'all know the worst stepmother, the worst evil stepmother?
Who?
Aside from Cinderella and Maleficent, is the stepmother on Tangled, Mother Gothel.
Oh yeah.
She's
that, and I watched a video on a channel I watched. They were talking about gaslighting. They said because the channel I watch is one guy is a director and one guy is a licensed psychologist, and he was like, a lot of people don't know, they just use the term online, gaslighting, but he was like, what she was doing was actually
she embodied it.
He was like, what she was doing was actually gaslighting.
She kept on saying evil stuff, talking about she was just playing. Like,
he was
chill out. No.
Yeah, he was like, what she was doing was actually gaslighting. And I was like, that's one of my favorite shows to watch. Because they watched Up the other day, and I bawled. They watched a couple other ones, and I watched them. And I was like, well, I'm going to watch their video, and I'm not going to cry. But yeah, that I just was like, she gave me the vibes of that
narcissistic mother.
What is
that
it?
Gaslight.
Did she have her name? Did she have the Cinderella stepmom? What was it? I do not know.
What was her name?
I think they just called her stepmother.
I think they did just call her stepmother.
Okay. Well, she was giving me those vibes, like when she, like that's what
I was thinking about the most. And I was thinking about, may she rest in peace, Natalie DeSalle, looking at Yvette acting like a evil stepsister. That's what she made me think of.
I don't remember her name.
The Brandy Cinderella
from Babs, the other one.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
She made me a little sad real quick because she passed away, but it made me think about her and the way that her and the other weird sister was acting on Cinderella.
They was acting weird. They was acting weird. Yeah, they was acting weird. Yeah,
I really like that. Yeah, but Yvette reminded me of Natalie.
I can see that. I can definitely see
that. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
I already knew we was gonna go all off the place with this because we all liked it.
Those were my favorite parts of the movie for sure. I think. And then of course Prince Edward. I mean, he's just so. What world is he in? He is.
He don't even live in Antilasia. It's something else.
And it was so funny with the guy that plays his character, but definitely him. I just was like, he's just so in his own world. Like he just lives in his own world. That's just.
Yeah, he needed somebody from Earth to marry so he could stay balanced.
Yes, because he like he don't understand why you shouldn't give somebody a sword. He don't understand why you shouldn't say that their house look raggedy. Like he lives in his own planet. And he's just like, what?
Poor now? Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Yeah, if y'all are poor, let me know and I'll work with that.
Is this what y'all doing?
Yeah. And they were like, she was like, dude, come eat up.
That's what we do.
Yeah. But it's like he just doesn't. He is if you want to know a description of blissfully unaware, he is blissfully unaware. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to ever be mean. He's not trying to be rude. He doesn't understand stuff he says, how it can be taken. Because he's just like, well, I'm just talking. And these are my friends. So, yeah. But I did like I like to see him again. And I was happy that they were still happy. So good Lord, I'm so tired of them right now. That actor and somebody that just always lose somebody. So I was happy they were still together.
Yeah, I think too. I was really happy to see the culmination with Morgan. Like she really got it. That turned around to in the end. That she really connected everything and brought everything back home. And that had a really feel good moment watching that happen. And to me, I was just really happy to see the movie culminate that way. It was perfect. And but I'm gonna tell you, when she tore up that picture at first with the memory tree, I was like, oh my gosh, my heart almost broke. And then when it was looking like that Giselle was gonna die, with Angelique, I was just like, this is too much. This is going a little bit dark for me, y'all. I ain't gonna make this.
Really? Yes. I was like, no, it's too much. I can't. Yeah, I was happy how I was like, part of me knew it was gonna work out because,
Yeah.
But it's just like, even still seeing that part is still just like, when she like, gets up to the point where she's finally realizing, that's her mother, she loves her, all that kind of stuff. And then she finally gets there and gets her back, and she's dying. It's just like, I was like, this is a lie. And I think what did it was just the fact that Amy Adams acted her behind off in that scene.
She did.
And the
I really respect Amy Adams for this. And I like that the girl, the daughter, knew something was wrong.
Yeah. Like when she got her mind back, she was like, no. Something ain't right.
I like that she was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's acting like this, and just went off. She knew, no, this ain't you. Something wrong.
Yes. Yeah. This is not normal. And it was so funny because I didn't know anything about the movie. I hadn't watched reviews, I hadn't read wikis, nothing. So when she called her stepmother, when first time she called Amy Adams her stepmother, and then when she sang the wish song and made the wish, and then when it got to the point where they was getting the dress for Morgan, and Amy Adams and Giselle, the first time she flickered to that other side, I said, and it could be because I watched so many things, I was like, she turned to an evil stepmother.
Yeah.
Because I just put it all together. I was just like, she called her a stepmother, and now they're in a fantasy world. I was like, she's turning into an evil stepmother. And even before that, I didn't know what it was, and I'm like, something seems off. When they were doing that first song, when everybody woke up after her wish, and everybody was like singing and dancing, and then Morgan came down, and just how she was dressed and how she was acting, I was like,
she looked like Cinderella.
But the fact that they never just, at that point, they could have just showed us, but they never, nothing was ever said, and it just was like, no, something don't seem right about this. Like, she's the one cleaning, she's the one taking care of the baby, she keeps doing stuff, and she's the only one, like, she's dressed down, and so I just was like, something don't seem right. And I was like, when they got to that point, I was like, there it is. She's turned to an evil stepmother. And it's like, I even like how they did the scene when Amy Adams was like kind of coming back, Giselle was kind of back, and Morgan called her stepmother, and she immediately went back. And I was like, I like how they didn't just throw it in your face and explain, she's turning into this because Morgan called her stepmother. Like it was just like, you get it, it was in your face, but they didn't over the top with explaining what's happening. But like, even that scene, it was just like, it made me so sad, because it was like, Morgan, if you had not called her that, she would have came back a little bit more at that point. If you had called her stepmother, she would have came back a little bit more. But it's like she was coming back, and as soon as Morgan said stepmother, she switched back. And I just was like, oh, this. And I think it was a scene leading up to where she pushed her down the well to help her. And I just was like, you were looking eager.
Just like the old lady did in the first one. Remember, it was who was that? The James Marsden's stepmother that pushed her into the
I think that was
real
her stepmother.
World in the first one?
Something like that, yeah.
That's what made me think of. She was pushed into the real world, and she pushed her stepdaughter back into Angelique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was some very good ones. Like, it was some very good callback scenes. That's what I'm saying. It was really, that's what I said, from The Wish on, love the movie. Because basically, everything from that was amazing. That's just kind of how I feel about it. You know, I know some. You know, I've seen some people say they don't like the whole movie, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. But from the wish on, I loved everything about the movie to the end. I wouldn't cut y'all off. Y'all can talk.
Oh no, that for me, I gave my input. For me, I gave my highs and lows of where I thought the movie was great. I don't have a whole lot to interject tonight, but I overall I think the movie is great. If I was to give it a rating, because we recommend it as a family-friendly movie for this being the holiday season and considering families sitting down watching it, I would give it a rating of I'll give it a strong 6.5
out of 10.
Out of 10.
Okay. What about you, Shani?
I was gonna say 7.1, and that's kind of being generous. I wasn't feeling it like that. I mean, I like the parts that I like, but like, I need stuff to speak to my soul a little bit more than that.
Yeah. I would say if I had to rate it out of 10, I would say a 6 out of 10. Because it's too much of the movie I don't like to be like, oh, it's an 8, it's a 9, it's 10. No. It's too much I don't like. I wouldn't say don't like. I would say, because even in the beginning, I don't like enough to give it a great rating. But I definitely wouldn't say it's a bad movie.
Right.
At all.
I think the little girl did good. I think the little girl that Morgan did really good.
Amazing.
Maya did really good, and I think Amy did really good.
And I would say I'll take it back. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 because they didn't lean into the romance with Morgan and that boy. Because I didn't care.
What happened? I don't even know. You're right, I don't care.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 because they had enough sense to be like, that's not important. They like each other. They like each other. All right. Because if they had a lean into that, it would have dragged it. Like, I didn't care about that. So it was not about that. It was about her and her mother.
But she wasn't focused on the boy. She was focused on trying to help Amy and see what was wrong with Amy.
And that's why I like how they wrote it like that. I was like, I don't care about romance. No. So like, yeah. So I'll give it a 7 for that because I do like.
I think the two male actors was they didn't. I mean, I've seen them both of them do a lot better. So I'm not giving them much.
I think the focus was mainly on those two. That's why it was mainly on Morgan and Amy.
The male actors didn't do nothing for me. I think. Amy and Morgan and really Amy. Really Amy. Well, the two ladies y'all said too, the sidekicks, they did really good.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell the story was mainly Amy, Morgan, I don't know the real actress's name. Morgan, then
Maya.
Maya and her sidekicks. That was the main story. It wasn't about romance. It wasn't about the marriages. It wasn't about, that was the story. So that was the story. I don't, whatever. That's what I'm saying. I definitely would, like, as I'm saying, if I went to somebody's house or somebody came here and they were like, oh, I want to watch XYZ. I wouldn't, like, if they were like, I want to watch Disenchanted, I haven't seen it. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'd be like, okay, you can watch it again. Because it wouldn't bother me. It's not, like, some movies I cannot rewatch. I can't. I just can't rewatch. But I would rewatch it. I don't have to pay attention to it. I can just pay attention to the parts I like. I definitely know I'm gonna tune into Banner and Love Power, if nothing else. So, that's what I'm saying. I would give it a strong 6, a mid 7. That's where I am with it. But I'm definitely not saying it's a bad movie at all.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm watching. And it's like, if I'm not watching a movie that's deep. Like, look, pay attention to what you're watching. If you know what you're watching, look at it as that. I already knew what it was going to be. So, yeah, that's how I felt about
it. Y'all did way too much explaining, in my opinion. The movie was what it was, but okay.
Are you over here sitting here nitpicking my cockles, Renee?
I think your cockles are warm enough. I think they're just lukewarm. That's your problem.
I got lukewarm cockles.
If yours was toasty like mine, you just was got to the darn point. Gave it a rating and called it a day. When your cockles are warm, you just say what needs to be said.
Well, I want people to understand where I get my rating from. We're not talking to each other. We're talking to the world.
Shani is so
So I need people to understand where my cockles are coming from.
Can you write that out and put it on the Facebook page? Your cockle.
My cockle rating.
Your cockles rating.
Yeah, I'll put my cockle rating on tonight. Your cockle rating.
December 2022 cockle ratings. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what my cockle rating for Disenchanted.
You don't get to speak against her cockle rating. That's her cockle rating.
That's my cockle.
I can't.
Yeah.
We're gonna mess around and make that an acronym for the brand.
I know.
Y'all know y'all want to hear cockles again. So my cockle rating will be posted.
I hate it.
You love it.
Hate it.
Love it.
I need to hear it again.
You want to hear my cockles?
Who's wrapping it up?
Anything else from my sisters?
My cockles are too warm for me to close us out in prayer.
She got warm cockles, y'all. She got warm cockles too warm.
All right, y'all.
See?
But do we have y'all got anything else y'all want to discuss?
No. I really do need to rest.
Yeah.
Rest myself for real, though.
Anything else, Chantilly?
No, she didn't just tap out.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. I see. That's what happens when your cockles aren't warm. That's what cold cockles will do to you.
We getting ready to wrap up, so you better be back on in the next 2 seconds. But yeah, I know I've been listening to those 2 songs over and over because I just like them. Better and Love Power. That just,
yeah.
From the whole, like I legitimately don't remember any other songs. I don't. To not be listening to it, I just don't remember.
I didn't care to remember any other song.
Right.
So like those, yeah, Better and Love Power is what I've been listening to. And that's it.
Yeah. Well.
Thank you so much for sitting with us, listening to our review of Disenchanted. Please take time to watch it and watch it with your family, specifically if you have little ones. I think they'll enjoy it. Younger age children, for sure. It's on Disney Plus. It definitely is worth watching.
It is. Definitely. Yeah. Don't make us think it's bad.
It is for sure worth watching, and we believe that you'll enjoy it. And when you watch it, please leave us a comment and let us know what you thought about it, and let us know what movie that you would like to see us review coming up. And we will definitely consider that as we are.
Oh yeah.
Looking at the next couple weeks and moving even beyond that, what we will be reviewing. We don't know everything that's out there, and so let us know as we are getting into more ideas and planning for our podcast. We want this to be a family affair, a group effort, and this is
interactions.
at our show, and that includes you. So with that being said, we have enjoyed our time with you, and we trust that you have enjoyed your time with us. We thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Leah.
My name is Chantilly Elijah-Eggerson.
Wow.
And I'm Angelique Elijah.
Okay, we're going to do that. My name is Leya Elijah. Thank you for allowing our family to be your family, and you have a wonderful night.